Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be solving a simple challenge from TryHackMe. We're going to be hacking the library boot to root machine. Now the only things that we have to do is get the user txt and root txt, meaning we have to get the user in this machine and then root it. Alright, so let's go back to my VM right here and let's connect to our VPN right here. Once we're connected, we're going to check our IP and we're going to write this down because we're going to be needing it later maybe if there's a shell upload situation or something like that. Alright, so now the machine has been started. We have our IP right here. So let's just copy it and let's do a regular nmap scan on this just to check what ports are open. And in the meantime, we can actually do the GoBuster because we know that there are some directories on HTTP and we know that HTTP is probably open. And as you can see right here, HTTP is open, so we can actually do GoBuster on it anyways. So let's run GoBuster. And in the meantime, let's just do -p and then the ports that we want to scan in deep using the SV just to scan all the versions and stuff like that. And in the meantime, we're going to be opening our browser to take a look at the website. And there we go. Our nmap scan is done. We have SSH open and there's nothing that we can exploit from what we see right now. And HTTP seems fine as well. So let's take a look at the website and its directories. So the website seems to be regular HTML. There doesn't seem to be any CMS running or something like that. So I'm guessing it's not an exploitation of CMS. It's actually just kind of like a hint thing. And we have a username right here, Meliodas or something like that. We could write this down. And we also have root, www.data, and anonymous. And I'm guessing the anonymous, it comes from posts. If we post down here in the post a comment section, we're probably gonna be posting as anonymous. So let's write down the username because we're going to be needing this later. Our GoBuster gave us some results. It actually told us that there is robust.txt and stuff like that. We actually want to take a look at the website source as well. And there is nothing that I can see right here that could be useful for us. So let's go back to what GoBuster gave us. So it gave us robust.txt and we have the user agent RockU. Now, I don't think that's an actual user agent. I think that's like a tip or something. We already have a username, so I'm guessing the RockU is to use as a word list for the username that we found. We didn't find any interesting directories, so I'm guessing we can just brute force SSH, but we're not sure if the user exists. So let's just run MSF console and we're going to check if the user exists using this auxiliary module that we're going to find. The auxiliary module that we're going to use is not always the most reliable one because sometimes it gives false positives, but we can give it a shot. We can try to SSH ourselves, see how that goes. Maybe we can find something like that. Let's try to type aux and then we're looking for user enumeration. There we go. And let's use that, show options, and then set the username. In our case, it's Meliodas. And then set the our hosts and our port. Our port is already set to 22, which is SSH, and our host is going to be our victim's IP. And then let's run this. And it says that user Meliodas actually exists. Let's try to search SSH type auxiliary again, and let's try to use the SSH login and see how that goes. We're going to try to use it with rocku.txt because that's what was recommended to us in the robust.txt. We can set pass file, which is our password file. In our case, it's going to be rocku.txt, and then our username, which is going to be Meliodas, and then our hosts, which is going to be just the victim. But we're going to be using HYDRA instead, THC HYDRA. We're going to be using it for this because HYDRA is just faster. And then right here, if we take a look in the help, we can actually see that there are some ways to brute force SSH, but we don't care about this way because it uses THM and targets.txt, which means it's going to have multiple targets in a text file and just the SSH right here. We want one, so we're going to take a look at the first entry right here, and we're going to be using that one basically. So do word lists, and right here there's a rocku.txt. In your case, it's going to be zipped, so just unzip it, and then you can actually do print working directory, pwd, and then just copy that directory. So let's do sudo hydra tag l, which is going to be our username, Meliodas, and then tag p, that's going to be a capital P, and then our word lists. Since I'm in the directory already, I can just do rocku.txt, and then after that we're going to be doing SSH, and then colon, and // and then victim's IP. And now all we have to do is wait, and eventually it's going to be trying all the combinations, and it's going to give us the password if we're lucky. Okay, there we go. We do have a match. So we have the password. It has cracked it. So that means we can actually log in. So let's try that. That was actually the thing that we had to do. So let's first memorize this because we're going to be needing that. So let's first just write this down because we're going to be needing it. And now let's do an SSH login. So let's do sudo SSH username in this case, and then the IP of the victim, and then press enter and just type in yes here. And now we need the password, and it's I love you one. And just copy and paste it and do ls, and there you have it. User.txt and back.py. Let's cat user.txt, and that's our user flag. So let's copy it and put it in the TryHackMe, and Yep, that's correct. There we go. So now what's back.py? Let's take a look. It does seem to be using zip file. It seems to like zip some files or something like that. If we do sudo tag L, we can see that we have no password sudo any Python version on this back.py. So we can run this back.py with any Python version. That's a great thing. And I'm guessing that right now we can't edit this file. Let's try to execute the file. We need the password as well. Yeah, okay, so we need the full length of the command. And now if we execute this, nothing happens, so that went through. But the problem is we don't really care about what that does, that specific file, because we can actually just replace it. Yeah, it seems like we can't edit it, but we can probably replace it. So let's try to edit it. If I do nano back.py, it's going to say no write permissions. But if I do remove, and then if I make a new one, let's touch back.py. And if I do sudo L right here, you can actually see that it's still there. So that means we can actually modify what's inside of the file and then still execute it. So let's actually do some regular Python shell spawning and stuff like that. So let's use like import OS or something like that. So let's do import os.set UID 0, which means root UID, and os.system and bin.sh. Just run the shell as a root user, and let's just print something here for fun. Let's save this, and now let's run this. If I go back to that command up there that we ran and run this, there we go. We seem to have the shell. Let's see. Who am I? Root. There we go. We've rooted this machine. Let's go to root and then ls and see if we have the root.txt. Yes, we do. Let's cat into it. Cat root.txt. There we go. And that's our flag. If we submit this flag, we've beaten the machine. And there you go. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.